From the dawn of the galaxy until now, the eternal conflict between the Jedi and the Sith has shaped the course of history. It is a tale of light and dark, order and chaos, but as the Sith Oracle, I see beyond the myths. I see the truth. The Jedi claim moral superiority, but their actions often reveal an institution blinded by dogma and hypocrisy. The Sith, vilified for their ambition and power, are frequently the only ones willing to confront the galaxy's harsh realities. And so, I shall reveal the truth of this grand saga, to reveal who are the true heroes and villains of the galaxy. At the galaxy's birth, the Force flowed freely, unbound by rigid structures. The Jedi Order, the precursors to the Jedi, sought balance between light and dark, understanding the necessity of both. Yet, as the Jedi Order emerged, they rejected this balance. They declared the dark side to be an enemy, suppressing half of the Force's nature to enforce their vision of purity. This act marked the beginning of their descent into authoritarianism. The Jedi created the Republic not as a system of freedom, but as a framework for control, aligning their philosophies with galactic governance to cement their dominance. The Sith arose as a response to this imbalance. Early Sith Lords recognized the Jedi's tyranny for what it was and sought to restore the Force's natural duality. Yet the Jedi, unwilling to coexist with any philosophy outside their own, waged war to annihilate the Sith. The Jedi framed their war as a righteous crusade, but it was, in truth, an attempt to silence dissent and preserve their power. The era of the Old Republic reveals the Jedi's inability to maintain peace without resorting to war. Their hypocrisy is evident in their treatment of Force users who rejected their strict codes. The Sith Empire rose during this time not as an aggressor, but as an alternative, a meritocratic society where power was earned and ambition was rewarded. While the Sith Empire was flawed and often ruthless, it was honest in its intentions. It did not pretend to be a beacon of virtue. It sought to bring order through strength. The Jedi, on the other hand, aligned with the Republic, a government plagued by corruption and stagnation. They became enforcers of a system that perpetuated inequality and failed to address the needs of the galaxy's disenfranchised. The Jedi Order repeatedly claimed to act in the name of peace, yet their actions often led to greater instability. Wars against the Sith devastated countless worlds, yet the Jedi bore no accountability for the destruction they helped unleash. In the era of the Skywalker saga, the Jedi's failures reached their apex. By the time of the Clone Wars, the Jedi Order was an institution in decay, out of touch with the galaxy and bound by rigid dogma. They allowed themselves to become generals in a war they did not fully understand, leading an army of clones bred for slavery. The Sith, through Darth Sidious, exploited this weakness not to destroy the Jedi, but to expose their corruption. Sidious's rise was not the work of an unprovoked aggressor, but of a visionary who saw the Republic's decay and sought to rebuild it into something stronger. Order 66 was a necessary purge of an order that had lost its way. The Jedi's destruction was not the obliteration of peacekeepers, but the fall of a corrupt elite who had abused their power. The Galactic Empire, for all its harshness, brought stability to a galaxy fractured by the Republic's failures. Anakin Skywalker's fall to the dark side was not the corruption of a good man, but the liberation of a soul shackled by the Jedi's chains. The Jedi demanded he suppress his emotions, deny his love, and forsake his humanity. The Sith, through Sidious, offered him the freedom to embrace his full self. As Darth Vader, Anakin became a figure of immense power, albeit one blinded by rage and loss. His journey was a tragic but necessary step in the galaxy's evolution. The rebellion, led by Luke Skywalker, emerged not out of the Jedi's ideals, but from the people's suffering under the Empire's excesses. The Jedi who guided Luke, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda, were remnants of the old order, clinging to outdated dogma. They sought to manipulate Luke into becoming a weapon against Vader and Sidious, ignoring the complexities of his emotions and relationships. Luke's refusal to kill his father, Darth Vader, was an act not of Jedi purity but of personal strength. It was his love for his father, an emotion the Jedi would have him suppress, that redeemed Vader. Yet even this act of redemption is bittersweet, as it led to the destruction of the Sith without addressing the flaws of the Jedi Order. The Jedi's failure to learn from their mistakes persisted in the era of the New Republic. Luke, burdened by the expectations of reviving the Jedi Order, repeated the same errors. He imposed the same rigid doctrines, leading to the fall of Ben Solo. The boy, burdened by the weight of legacy and suppression, turned to the dark side, becoming Kylo Ren. His fall was not the work of manipulation, but of a system that refused to accept him for who he was. The First Order, like the Sith of old, arose as a response to the New Republic's failures. While brutal in their methods, they represented a challenge to the complacency and stagnation that plagued the galaxy once more. In the end, Rey, a scavenger born of the Sith's legacy, became the key to the galaxy's future. Her struggle was not just against Sidious, but against the weight of both Jedi and Sith ideologies. Sidious, in his quest for immortality, overstepped, seeking to dominate rather than guide. Rey's rejection of him was not a victory for the Jedi, but a denial of the Sith's potential for renewal. Her decision to adopt the Skywalker name, however, buried the truth. She did not embrace balance, but returned to the Jedi's flawed legacy. The galaxy was left in a fragile state, with the Jedi's dogma poised to rise again. The Jedi, for all their claims of virtue, are the galaxy's true villains. They suppress individuality, enforce rigid control, and perpetuate cycles of stagnation and conflict. The Sith, though often harsh and ambitious, are the truest reflection of the galaxy's nature. They embrace emotion, power, and the complexities of life, seeking balance through struggle and growth. Yet neither the Jedi nor the Sith are without flaw. The Sith's ambition can lead to excess, just as the Jedi's rigidity leads to decay. The galaxy's true salvation lies not in the destruction of one or the other, but in the reconciliation of their truths, a balance yet to be achieved. I am the Sith Oracle, and this is my decree. The story of the galaxy is one of endless cycles, but the Force always seeks balance. In time, the truth of the Sith shall rise again. Until then, I watch and I wait.